I've been doing intermittent fasting for over 2 years. I've lost over 30 pounds doing it. And even though I've lost the weight, I still continue to do intermittent fasting. Why? Because I see so many other benefits to it, and we're going to talk about that in today's video. Hello everyone, Jennifer L. Scott here, and welcome back to the Daily Connoisseur. So this video is going to talk about why I continue to do intermittent fasting, because I see so many other health benefits to it. I want to thank Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. I will share them with you at the end of the video. Okay, so if you're totally new to my channel, I have been doing intermittent fasting. I do the 16-8 method, and I've been doing it for over 2 years, just over 2 years. And I lost 30 pounds. I'm in my early 40s, I'm 41, and I have 4 children, and the weight was just creeping on after each child. And I knew that I wanted a change, and so I decided to try intermittent fasting. I was so shocked with my results. I did not expect to lose 30 pounds and get back to the weight that I was in high school. Okay, I never thought that that would happen, but it did happen. So now that I'm there, why do I continue to do intermittent fasting? Because it's become a lifestyle for me, but not only that, a beloved lifestyle. Like, I love it. I really do. It's not a diet. It's not like a punishment for me. It's just a way of life. And what it has done is put a name to something that I intrinsically knew, but didn't have any structure around. I'm going to get to that in just a second. But first, disclaimer, I'm not telling you to do intermittent fasting. You need to discuss it with your doctor if you're interested. I'm not a doctor, scientist, or nutritionist. So I'm just a normal person just like you who was a bit baffled by my weight gain as I got older. And it's just been amazing to help me lose weight. But like I said, I've seen so many other benefits. And I wrote about these very concepts in my books in the Madame Chic series, which I'll link down below. Chapter 1 of Lessons from Madame Chic is called Snacking is So Not Chic, and chapter 2 is called Deprive Yourself Not. Now, my books are not only on food, it's like a whole lifestyle series. But it's funny that I recognized this way back then in my early 20s and then later on when I wrote the book, but I didn't put a name to it. There's something so powerful about putting a name to something, and putting a name to intermittent fasting and having those parameters of 16-8 for me, which is fasting for 16 hours and having an 8-hour eating window, it just made the whole thing doable, honestly. That's why I do the 10-item capsule wardrobe. Putting a name on it, having parameters, helps you with that whole process. I think there's just something magical about it. So let's talk about the 5 ways that I have benefited from intermittent fasting in addition to the weight loss. I have my notes here, that's what I'm looking at in case you're wondering. But let's talk about everything. So number 1, I have increased energy. I have so much more energy than I had from before I was doing intermittent fasting. I always felt tired, lethargic, like I needed an afternoon burst of caffeine, which I still have. I mean, I have like tea or coffee. I actually don't have coffee in the afternoon. I have tea in the afternoon, coffee in the morning. But I don't feel like I am sluggish anymore. I have an increased amount of energy. There is an article here from Freeletics that says, apart from weight loss, the less known benefit of intermittent fasting is said to be an increase in energy. So I'm not the only one. They say eating several times throughout the day means our metabolism goes through cycles of breaking down carbohydrates and turning them into blood sugar. Eventually it's used for energy or stored in cells for later. So basically I just have had an increase in energy, which is something that I desperately need as a working mother of 4. Second thing is that I have an overall feeling of well-being. I don't have bloating anymore. I don't have bloating or stomach issues, which I had a lot of before I did intermittent fasting. Many of you will know that I also suffered from regular chronic sinus infections. I don't know if intermittent fasting cleared that up for me, but honestly, I think it did, because what else changed in my life to make those go away? I did get one, I think in the past 2 years, maybe one, maybe two, but nothing compared to, I mean, I had one like every month I was getting them. So that was really crazy, but just, I don't have the bloating and the physical issues. So I have an overall feeling of well-being, just of feeling good, which is incredible. Also, when I first started fasting, the nighttime fasts, like basically I don't eat after dinner, okay? And it would get hard for me later in the evening, and I would just be in agony in the beginning. It is hard. But once you train your body to not snack in the evening, in the late evening, you become used to it. It doesn't become hard anymore. In fact, I like the feeling. I love the feeling now when I'm fasting. I feel like something's happening. It's my non-scientific way of saying it. And basically, it's the autophagy. It's what my body's going through. My body's able to work on other things in my body other than digestion, which is what it was constantly working on when I would interrupt my fast with snacks. So when I was living in Paris, I would have dinner and then I would not snack after dinner. I mean, not at all. It just wouldn't happen. And that's what I'm doing now. I'm not snacking after dinner. Granted, I'm eating dinner a lot earlier than I did when I was in Paris, but it's a wonderful feeling now entering the fast. I love having a delicious and satisfying dinner, and then knowing that I'm done. It's that comfort of having the parameters. It's the same thing with the 10-item wardrobe. You know, when you have your core items for the season, you're done. You don't keep shopping and keep, window shopping and putting things in your online cart. You're done. And that's a freeing feeling. It's the same thing with fasting. You're finished for the day and you can enjoy the rest of your evening without worrying about constantly getting food. The third thing is that I have an increased mental clarity and focus on intermittent fasting. So I've noticed that I've been able to focus more, concentrate more. My writing sessions are more powerful. I'm so much clearer about what I'm doing. I don't have a brain fog. I'm hyper focused. And for me, that's very important because I'm a writer and I have a big family. And so when I sit down to write, it needs to be high quality, high focus time. So I have found a greater mental clarity, and I found that my work has been better. I have a Psychology Today article that I'll link down below that says intermittent fasting gives us a sharpened cognitive focus. In fact, the whole article is on how intermittent fasting can supercharge your mental focus. So it's nice to have that validation, but I truly experience it myself. The fourth thing may seem silly to you, but I really feel like I'm aging backwards. I do. I love this because just look at pictures of me from before I did intermittent fasting. I feel like I look inflamed, like my face looks inflamed. I look stressed, slightly overweight, like losing my hair. I don't look at a place of well-being, I don't feel like. And now I feel like I'm getting youth back. Honestly, I feel like I'm aging backwards a little bit and that I'm looking better now than I did back then. And I have been really into the work of David Sinclair. He's a Harvard Medical Group biologist, and he has a lot of work. He's got a lot of videos online. He loves intermittent fasting. He purports that fasting really helps in longevity, and it can even, this is very unscientific to say, but can age you backwards. It makes you renewed. You look youthful. You feel youthful. And that contributes to an overall feeling of youth. The fifth thing that I've noticed is that I have better sleep. I'm getting just a much better sleep when I'm intermittent fasting. It talks a lot about, when you look at intermittent fasting research, about the circadian rhythms. Circadian rhythms are the physical, mental, and behavioral changes that follow a 24-hour cycle. So human beings naturally have circadian rhythms of when they should be awake, obviously when it's daylight, and when the sun goes down, we should go to sleep. We don't do that anymore because we have electricity and we stay up late. Generally, we should follow these rhythms. And so I'm going to bed earlier now. I'm trying to go to bed at 10 o'clock at night. I used to go to bed at 11 or 11:30. I definitely find that my increased mental focus helps me get more work done during the day, so I'm not having to stay up so late at night to work like I used to. And when I do sleep, I'm just finding it's better sleep, deeper sleep, and I'm waking up feeling rested. So the Sleep Foundation says that intermittent fasting improves the quality of your sleep by reinforcing your circadian rhythms. And it just makes sense to me. It all makes sense, because if you have dinner and then you stop eating after dinner, your body is like, okay, it's time for bed, right? But let's say your body's getting into that, you haven't had anything for a few hours, and then you start eating chips or cereal or snacks, and your body's like, wait a second, I thought we were going to bed. Oh, is it breakfast time? Like, what is happening here? These are all my non-scientific ways of looking at it. So I really get it. Like, I totally get it. And when I stop eating, my body knows it's like preparing now to sleep. And of course, you sleep most of the time you're fasting. It's not that radical, right? It's not like I'm going the whole day without eating. I'm sleeping most of the time. So anyway, I think that it's great. It says your circadian rhythms manage a host of biological functions, from your appetite and metabolism to your sleep-wake cycle. So it's important to pay attention to those. I'm going to link the Psychology Today article down below. It's really good. But here are some of the other benefits it mentions: increasing metabolism, lowering blood sugar, reinforcing circadian rhythms, activating the body's cell repair and cell rejuvenation mechanisms. Maybe that's like the reverse aging, right? Strengthening our immune systems, that overall feeling of well-being, helping us make better food choices. I haven't even talked about that. And sharpening cognitive focus. So, I mean, I feel like I could do a part 2 to this video, because I've really only scratched the surface on why I feel so good through intermittent fasting. And weight loss is not the only benefit. There are so many others. I want to thank Skillshare for being a wonderful sponsor on the Daily Connoisseur and for bringing us today's video. You know I love Skillshare. They are an online learning platform where thousands of people come together to learn new skills. You can explore your creativity and invest in yourself and your personal growth. They have classes on everything from creative writing to art, craft tutorials, journaling classes, video editing. They have cooking classes that are really amazing. You know that we are going through the chess series, learning how to play chess. So The Beginning Chess by Arnie Collar, it's so good. I love that you can go on there and think, what do I want to learn? Type it in, and chances are there's probably a class on it, if not many classes on it. It's a really wonderful community. And you know, I'm all about learning, growing, and never stop learning. We should never stop learning as adults. So I'd like to thank Skillshare so much for bringing us today's video. The first 1,000 people to click on my link below will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. Thank you so much for joining me here on the Daily Connoisseur. Keep calm and remain classy, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.